Hey guys, this is Mike, back with another update. Hope you guys are having a great day and a great week. And I just wanted to share some thoughts with you from my latest meetup, which I attended last Thursday night. It was the Cryptos Tokens Meetup located in Irvine, California. It was another great event. I really enjoyed it. I was a little bit late. Sorry about that. Left work about 4:30. Took me about 2 hours to get there. So thank you, southbound 405. You truly are the worst. But I did make it in time just before the presentation started. And what was cool, the first thing I noticed was looking over the table at the front, they had some DigiByte fact sheets laid out. I guess these were just leftovers from the previous meetup, which I attended last fall and gave a presentation on. So that was kind of cool, and it was nice of him to put those out. And in fact, towards the end, he even gave me a shout out, introduced me to everyone, and of course I mentioned I had some DigiByte swag pass out, which I did. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But anyway, it was kind of a different vibe than a lot of meetups I've been to. Previous ones have had kind of a bar situation there where, it's more of almost like a nightclub kind of feel in some respects. And this was at it was like a startup incubator located near the Irvine, University of California, Irvine campus, or maybe actually on campus. But it was really neat. It was just had a good layout, and it was a good space to learn a lot of new things. And I did learn a lot of new things, and it was really interesting, and things that are related to the DigiByte community. So let me go and get into it a little bit. So first, there was the Dropil trading app. So this is an application which allows you to automate trades with whatever exchange you happen to be trading on. And it's pretty neat. I'm not a trader. I don't really, for me, I'm just really guessing a lot. I don't do technical analysis or any kind of analysis. I just stop trading. But this is something that I think might be kind of, pique my interest enough to give it another shot. It is. I will say the layout of the application was very sleek, very crisp. Something that, I'm a visual guy, so that's something that really appeals to me. Something that's, really easy to kind of find things that you're looking for, and they have a number of bots that you use for different things. And there's like a tiered service. So you can use it for free up to a certain level, and then if you want more bells and whistles, you got to pay a subscription for that. So that was pretty neat. I'd heard about them before, and in fact, they gave a presentation at the same meetup that I gave a presentation on last fall, and people were really into it. People really wanted to find out more about this application. So it was good to hear more about that, and something I'm going to look into for myself if I choose to do trading. I'm hoping that they can add more exchanges to the platform. Right now they only support Binance, which, as we all know, there's a history there with DigiByte, and it's not a very good one. I do have a Binance account. It's probably been over a year since I logged in, and so who knows if it's even still active. I've never used it, and don't really plan to either, at least hopefully not, just for those reasons that you're probably all aware of. And they also offer it with Huboy. Again, I don't have an account with them either, so I'm sure that they've got more exchanges on their roadmap. The other presentations, which I found very interesting and very educational, especially how it relates to DigiByte, were staking platforms. So as many of you may know, there's been conversations within the DigiByte community about swapping out one of the mining algorithms with a staking algorithm. And I'm not sure how I feel about that, mainly because I don't know enough about it to really come to an informed decision. So this is one of the reasons why I was, really looking forward to this event, to learn more about staking. And, because, for me, I kind of come from the background of, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And, I think the multi-algorithm mining is something that really sets DigiByte apart. But then again, having a separate algorithm that you can stake with could have some appeal as well. And, I think there are some hybrid blockchains out there that do both proof of work and proof of stake. I'm not quite certain what those are, but it's something that should be studied, and you can see what works for them, and look at the pros and cons of having a hybrid system in that regard. I do know it's kind of on the back burner. We've got AutoCrypt coming out in July, DigiAssets, so there's still plenty of development going on. That's kind of taking a priority, and for good reason. So, but I think at some point the topic will be revisited. So there was it's called the Divi Project, something I was not familiar with, which means nothing. But two things that really stood out to me that I thought were interesting were, one was they just recently announced that they were going to be available on ATMs in Costa Rica, which I think is a pretty big deal, because obviously ATMs are everywhere, and have that logo, that name present, even for people who are there just to get cash or whatever. They see that and they say, oh, okay, that's something different, that's new. And then, as when the time comes for them to say, hey, I'm ready to get involved in cryptocurrency, then that seed has already been planted in their mind. The other thing is that, I had the impression that, if you wanted to purchase a masternode, they made that process very simple and easy to do. Even you could purchase one with PayPal, which, is important, because I think, for a lot of people that are new to the industry, new coming into the space, things have to be made simple for them. And that's something another organization that gave a presentation on called NodeForge was their specialty. Kind of a one-stop shop of masternodes, where they provide you with a dashboard, and they do a lot of the background work for you. So the user on the front end doesn't have to really think too much, doesn't have to really get too technically involved, which again I think is very important at this stage in the industry. We need to create things that are very easy and simple for people to use, especially people who are new to crypto, new to blockchains, and don't really fully understand it, and don't really want to have to understand it. They just want to be able to get involved in the easiest, simplest way that they can. So it's neat to see companies out there doing things like this. And again, just for people like myself, even though I'm a DigiByte guy, it's proof of work. Learning more about the staking aspect of blockchains was very interesting. Given that DigiByte may one day decide to swap out one of those algorithms with a staking algorithm. So it's good for me just to learn more in that regard. But one of the presentations that really kind of piqued my interest the most was one about the Celsius network. So Celsius is a lending platform, and I know when we say crypto and lending, that's automatically a red flag for a number of reasons, because most of these types of platforms, they're scams or Ponzi's. Of course, BitConnect being the most notorious and infamous lending platform to go bust. But I think these guys are doing it right for a number of reasons. I first became aware of Celsius in October of 2017 when I attended my first cryptocurrency conference here in Los Angeles called BlockCon. And, I was really new to the space. I really didn't even know really who or what anything was going on. But these guys, they stood out instantly, because they all have these deep blue t-shirts. They all had, their logos said Celsius. And you could tell who the leader was. And, you're kind of looking like, well, who's this guy? Well, later on I found exactly who he is. His name is Alex Mashinsky. And he created Celsius a couple years ago, and he wanted to do it, create an ability for people to loan money and earn proper interest on it, but also be able to take loans out without being, raked over the coals with the interest rates. He was involved with the creation of VoIP, or Voice over Internet Protocol technology. And what's cool is that he did it in a way that was very disruptive to the telecom industry at the time. Back in the day, you actually had to pay per minute for long distance phone calls. You had your local phone service, and anything beyond your local area you had to pay extra for. And so he was involved with the internet side of that, and he did it in a way which forced the telecom industry to basically offer that service for free, which they do now. Now of course it's all about data and different packages and the devices themselves. But back in the day, you just had your landline, and if you wanted to call someone outside of your local area, well, you had to pay 10 cents per minute or 15 cents per minute, just depended on, the time of day and what day of the week it was. And you had all these different, price structures. So, and what's neat about it is that, because he talks about the banks and how banks, they're not really there for the customer. They're there for the shareholder, to earn money for the shareholders, because you charge X amount of interest if you want to take out a loan or use your credit card. But if you want to, put money in a savings account, you're just, you get, it's not even worth it, because you get nothing back in return. And of course, by the time you get the money back, it's already, what you've earned in interest is gone in inflation. And plus, there's greater risk with the banks because of fractional reserve banking. So it's something that I did open an account with them. I haven't deposited anything yet. I'm probably going to, I've got some OMG in my Exodus wallet at home. It's just sitting there doing nothing. So I'm going to try it out and see how it goes. So the other thing that interests me, two other things beyond just me, whether or not that's something, to do for myself, but is it something that DigiByte should be added to? Because they offer about 12 different cryptocurrencies, and is this something that would benefit the DigiByte blockchain, the DigiByte community, to have it added to a platform such as this? And I asked him, after his presentation was done, and he did it remotely. I think he's based out in New York. What criteria do they follow in order to decide what coins to list? And it basically came down to, is there a demand to make deposits on the coin, and also to take loans out on that particular coin? So I guess the question I have for you, and you just leave comments below, is do you feel that would be something worth pursuing, to engage with Celsius and to talk to them and open up a conversation and say, hey, we would like to offer DigiByte to your list of services? And I don't know if we're really at that level yet, because it doesn't really do any good to push to have this coin added, and then if no one uses it, then it just looks bad, because its interest offering is very meager compared to some of the others. But the other thing too is that he had mentioned that they were looking into EOS and Ethereum to use as a platform. And of course, I'm thinking, oh, well, you should use DigiAssets. They do have a token that they've already come out with. I'm not sure if he was referring to that token specifically or something else for those platform purposes. But of course, if that's something that they would incorporate DigiAssets with, that would be a big deal. So again, those are just some thoughts and observations from the latest meetup. Again, it was really informative, learning more about staking, learning more about Celsius. And, let me know if you think that that's something that we should pursue as a community to participate with Celsius. And let me know if you have any personal experience with using Celsius, if you've made deposits, if you've been happy with the service, or if you're unhappy with the service, or if you had issues and you had to contact them to get resolved, and if you feel that their customer service was responsive to your concerns and your needs. These are all important things that we need to be considered before looking into that. So, like I said, there's something that I feel they are legit. Hearing Mashinsky speak, I have heard him speak. He was at Crypto Invest Summit here in Los Angeles back in April. And a lot of what he said resonated with me. Also recently I started watching, he did a debate with Nouriel, Roubini. Some of you may remember him. He's that establishment economist who gave some testimony before Congress. He basically just flooded Bitcoin and digital assets in general. And then of course he took his flamethrower to crypto Twitter, and he's burning people left and right, and people are coming back at him. He's blocking them, and these types I typically just ignore, because what's the point, right? But they show up in your feed anyway on Twitter, simply because people you follow are responding to him. And I eventually just blocked him myself, because who needs that, right? Obviously he's just misinformed, or he has his own agenda that he's pushing, and it's not an agenda that resonates with me. But things that Alex Mashinsky of Celsius has to say, those do resonate with me. So I think it is something worth looking into. And anyway, that's the latest from me here today. And I'm thinking I might start doing some more of these videos because I do have more to say that I think is prevalent and pertinent to the DigiByte and crypto community at large. But I do want to keep these videos kind of shorter and more kind of, stick to a central theme. So I'll try and get those out soon as well. Get your thoughts on some other things that I'm working on besides just the meetups. So that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in and watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And also want to give a shout out to Amon. Some of you know him, Amon Unlimited, the DigiByte Unlimited network. He's doing a lot of great things, has a lot of great content on his channel. He suggested on Twitter a few days ago that other people in the community go to meetups and do videos as well about their experience. Talk about, just what happened, who they met, and what kind of feedback they got when they talked about the DigiByte Blockchain. And I think that's a wonderful idea. I'd love to see more people going to meetups and creating more content, because it does matter in terms of the metadata on the internet, in terms of like searching and the more likes and subscriptions and retweets, all these things, they do add up, and they add to the movement that we're trying to push forward here. So yeah, I definitely think that's a great idea for people out there to go to meetups and do a quick video about it. It doesn't have to be really in depth, and you can do as many takes as you like till you get it right. And even if you don't get it right, well, hey, we're not professionals at this. We're just all volunteers doing what we can to stand for what we believe in. And so yeah, that's the latest from sunny Los Angeles, California. Finally got some sunshine today. It's been really cold and cloudy lately, but anyway, you guys have a great day, great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Cheers.